Good afternoon, everyone. 2:30 on a Tuesday. It's chair yoga class number 15 with me, Dave Rennie. Thank you so much for joining. If you are joining today, it's hot and it's steamy. It's a little close out there, isn't it? It feels like we might get a bit of a storm later on, which will be nice. It'll freshen things up a little bit, right? So what I'd like you to do today is to take care of yourself, first of all. The best way to do that is stay hydrated. I've got water today. I'm a little bit sweaty. I'm not even doing anything right now. Maybe shut your windows, shut your curtains. That's what I've done. I'm sat here in the dark today, but hopefully you can see me just fine. And then have a sturdy chair. Let me show you my chair every time. There's the back, there's the sides. It's nice and stable. So if you've got something like that, great stuff. Whatever chair feels good for you. You know, you might have a chair that you use a lot, maybe, a wheelchair, something like that. Or maybe you're doing this in your armchair. You can do it any way you want. You don't have to get too fussy about this stuff. And what we're going to do today is we're going to do something very similar to what we did last week. So we're going to do those seated sun salutations, which hopefully you enjoyed, and it'll give you a really good stretch out of the breath. And, it's going to just give you that nice movement, all round body movement. But before that, we'll kind of work into some nice warming postures. Not that we need to warm up so much today, right? But we do need to move the body a little bit. One of my friends who lives out in France, who's also a yoga teacher, just sent me a temperature in his house, and it's 39 degrees. So that is very hot, isn't it? Very hot. So we'll start in seated Tadasana, like we did last week. So you're going to root your feet down onto the floor, if you can do that. And you're going to draw a little bit of length into your spine. And then find somewhere reasonable for the hands. And at the start here, just maybe, close the eyes down. If it doesn't feel great closing the eyes, then just feel like softening the gaze down towards your feet. And at this point, all we're doing is we're just maybe scanning the body. Noticing how the four corners of your feet feel as they press down on the floor, if that's available. And then just bringing your awareness up your legs, into your hips, your spine, up into your shoulders, and then eventually to the crown of your head. And then you might work your way all the way back down. And you can do that with the breath, breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose. And spend a little bit of time just to check in and just notice what you're noticing. See how you feel today. Remember, yoga being a feeling practice. We don't want to think too much about this stuff. We just want to kind of feel into the body. And it might be a great opportunity to just send the breath where it's needed. Send the breath to those parts of the body that feel like they need nourishment. So we're sitting here, I guess, in a seated meditative practice, and you might have already done that with Max today. I know that he was doing his guided meditation at 12:30. So, we kind of draw parallels with the practice here. And what we could do is we could just remain here for the rest of the class, right? And that's probably a really nice thing to do when it's really hot. But we're going to bring those nice gentle movements into our practice. So let's just start by bringing the palms up and then just spreading out through your fingers a little. And then bringing your arms up if you can, and then make fists. So the arms are in line with the shoulders, and you make fists, rooting the feet down into the floor. Spine is nice and long. You can see, you probably can't see, but I'm not leaning back against my chair. I've got my kind of like my sit bones towards the front of the chair. And then just begin to circle your wrists out. Pick a direction. I'm going out and then in, but don't get too fussy about this stuff. And then maybe come back the other way. So just kind of freeing the wrists up. We're not going to kind of use the wrist in any huge way today, but I think this is quite nice. You can spread out through the fingers, really spread the fingers out, and then maybe turn the palms up towards the ceiling. Now, what does that do? It really engages my shoulders. This is a little bit more work. So maybe turn the palms down, and then maybe turn the palms up. And you can even match that movement with breath. So maybe inhale as the palms come down, spread out through the fingers. Exhale as you offer the hands up towards the ceiling or the sky if you're practicing today. Inhaling, exhaling. One more time. Inhale, maybe turn the palms out, and then exhale, maybe turn the palms up. Should we do that one more time? Because that was a slightly bigger move. Inhale, turn the palms out, so you get that internal rotation of the shoulders. And then exhale, turn the palms up, and you get that external rotation of the shoulders. Feels good, right? Nice work. Give the hands a little shake out, the arms a little shake out, and bring the hands down towards your hips. Nice work. And then bring the hands back onto the knees, but this time with the palms face down. Re-lengthen your spine and then relax your shoulder blades down your back, and then a little bit of movement through your neck. So all we're going to do is we're just going to turn your head. So on an inhale, turn your head over towards the left. And then on an exhale, turn your head over towards the right. Inhaling left and exhaling right. Inhale left. Exhale to the right. And just do that a few more times on either side. Inhaling left. Exhaling right. And then eventually, inhale your head all the way back to center here. And then take a full exhale. And then drop your chin down towards your collarbone or your sternum, your chest. And then just rock your head a little side to side. So just kind of freeing up the back of your neck. Make sure your jaw remains nice and loose. Just bringing these nice generous movements in. And then bringing your head all the way back to center, lift up for your right hand and then just clasp your right hand over your left ear. Don't pull the head, but just use the weight of that right arm just to draw your right ear down towards your left shoulder. Keep breathing deeply here. Stay nice and relaxed through your jaw. Maybe bring the chin down a little. Maybe bring the chin up a little. A couple more rounds of breath. Deep, rich inhales and full releasing exhales. You can bring the head back to center this way. Slide the right hand onto your right temple now and then just push your head back to center. Inhale, sweep the left arm up and then hold around the right ear and then draw the left ear down towards your left shoulder. So your spine remains long. You're not kind of moving anywhere apart from the head, but don't pull. Kind of maybe roll the left shoulder open a little more if you can. But you're not looking for the strongest sensation. Nice relaxed movements here. Breathe in deeply, maybe a couple more rounds of breath. And then slowly slide that left hand onto the left temple and then bring your head back to center. Bring the hands down and then maybe just give your feet a little tap out. Just tap your feet out. Nice, beautiful, really nice. Bring the hands onto the knees, palms are down. Do some seated cat-cow. Root down through the four corners of your feet. Inhale, lift your heart, spine is long. Lift your head, maybe offer your throat a little more to the sky. And then exhale, round your spine. So you're using the arms a little bit here to round the spine and tuck the navel back. So that's your movement. Inhale as you expand. Spine is long. Maybe look up. Exhale to round. And you guys just carry on like that, just for a few rounds of breath. I'm just going to check in with the comments. Hello to Irene. Nice to have you along. Maybe 3 more like that. Seated cat-cow. So we do this a lot, don't we? Sometimes we do it if you join me on Thursdays on all fours. But this is a nice way to adapt it when we're just sat in a chair. A couple more rounds. And then eventually inhale, bring the spine long, and then take a full exhale. Beautiful. Next inhale, bring the arms up with the palms down and just move a little side to side here. So the arms are in line with the shoulders, in line with the fingers. We just do this little side movement, side to side. Nice. And then from here, drop the right hand down and then inhale the left arm all the way up. So reach up towards the sky. As you exhale, bend over towards the right. So you're going to feel this stretch down the left side of your body, rooting down through the feet. Inhale to find length and then exhale, just a little side bend. Nice. Inhale, come back to center and then bring the arms all the way back up. Nice. Exhale, bring the left hand down, bring the right arm up. Take a deep inhale here to lengthen, find length through your spine. Exhale, right arm over to the left. So you're going to feel this nice stretch down the right side of the body. And if you want, you can do what I'm doing. I'm just gazing beyond my right armpit. Just a little bit of breathing there. But I'm staying relatively stable through my hips. One more round of breath. Nice deep inhale. And then a full exhale. One more like that. Deep inhale. And a full exhale. Bring the arms back up. This time, again, with the palms face down. Then flip the palms up. Then flip the palms down. So inhale as the palms come up. Exhale as the palms come down. Inhale as you flip the palms up. Maybe lift the arms a little higher. And then exhale as you bring the palms down. Now a little side-to-side movement. We won't go for long, but I realise that this is quite taxing on the arms. So take an inhale to centre. Exhale, just move both arms over towards the right. So you're going to feel this twist through your spine. Inhale back to centre. Keeping the arms relatively neutral, kind of in line with the shoulders. Exhale over towards the left. Root down through the feet will really help that movement through the spine. Inhale to centre. Exhale to the right. Inhale to centre. Exhale to the left. Inhale centre. Nice work. Exhale right. Keep it going. Inhale centre. Exhale left. One more time either side. Inhale centre. Exhale right. Inhale to centre. And exhale to the left. Inhale to centre. Exhale. Bring the hands down. Palms face down. And just give your shoulders a little impromptu shrug out. See how that feels. It's quite a lot of work there, right? Through the arms, you feel it through the shoulders, through your back, your upper back, your kind of thoracic area in this mid and upper part of the spine. A little bit of movement through the neck just to release any tension. We've already gone there, so feel free to come back in. Don't make the movements too big. Just keep them relatively relaxed. You can do these little half moon shapes. Or if you wanted to, you can at this point draw some circles. But don't be too ambitious. Remember, the body feels a little different when it's this warm. So don't kind of push beyond. Make sure that you're always looking after yourself. And then maybe come back the other way. Inhale, bring your head all the way back to center. And then take a full exhale. Really lovely. Fantastic work. Really great. All right. Let's do a little more lateral movements, so side to side. So see if you can do this. I'm going to give you two options, but you might do this first of all. You can bend into the elbows and then place your fingertips kind of on the shoulders. So you find your little fingers at the front and your thumbs at the back. Now, if that feels too much in your shoulders, do this. So this is what we call cactus arms. So what we're going to do is we're going to move down to either side. You can do it that way or you can do it this way. Okay. So we're just going to move a few rounds. Maybe reroute your feet down, reposition your feet so your ankles are right underneath your knees. Inhale to find length through your spine. Exhale, little bend over to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale center. Exhale right. Always inhaling up. Always exhaling down on your breath. Couple more times over time. And then inhale, come all the way back up. And exhale, bring your hands all the way down. Beautiful. Make any little adjustments. And at this point, I'm going to grab a drink. So it might be a really good time, just over halfway through the class. I'm going to brave the outdoors after this class. Got a few little errands to run. Okay, so what we can do now is we can kind of get into these half sun salutations. I really enjoyed doing them last week. Before we do that, let's just come into a little forward fold. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to slide to the side of my chair, but you can stay exactly as you are unless you want to join me. So I'm going to kind of perch myself on the side of my chair. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that my knees are nice and bent. So, I can kind of lengthen the legs out if I wanted to, but I'm going to place the soles of the feet on the floor. And I'm just going to kind of feel very gently into the backs of my legs. With the spine long, inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. As you exhale, just fold over your legs. So just kind of come into this nice, gentle forward fold. Now, if it feels too much on the lower spine, then you can place your hands onto your knees and you can just begin to hinge at the hips. And you might be in this kind of position, right? Or you can bend a little further and maybe just let the body drape down. So it's your choice. If you feel like you've got a little more room, then you can bring the legs long and you might forward fold over the legs with a little generous bend in the knees. I can hold on to my feet, but I've still got my knees bent. It's up to you where you go. So this is kind of like that seated ragdoll pose. Take a couple more rounds of breath. We're going to kind of bring a similar movement into the seated sun salutations in a moment. And then when you come out, just walk your hands up your legs. Do that really slowly. And then if you're on your ankles, like I was, place the soles of the feet on the floor. Re-lengthen your spine. And then you can stay where you are. Unless you moved, come join me back facing forwards if you move with me off to the side. Back to Tadasana. This is a kind of real beautiful foundational posture. You're sitting well away from the back of your chair. Let me just spin my chair. So I'm kind of here, right? So this means that I'm bringing this effort into, bringing my spine long. Not too much effort, but a reasonable amount of effort. Okay, let's do some sun salutations. Let's start with our hands at our heart. Remember, the breath is super important here, but I'll guide you on the breath. So when you're ready, inhale, sweep your arms all the way up towards the sky or the ceiling. Maybe look up towards your hands. And then exhale, hinge and fold. So swoop the arms all the way down and then just come with the feet on the floor. Nice generous bend in the knees. So you're just sitting and then just let the arms drape down. You can place the hands here, the backs of the legs maybe, or you can just kind of bring the fingertips onto the floor. Maybe, press down with the toes onto your fingers, just create a little seal there. Just be a little bit mindful of your spine. Stay up high like this if there's anything going on untoward. There should never be any pain. What we're going to do from here is we're going to take one more round of breath. So nice deep inhale. Take a full exhale. Your next inhale, draw yourself up to a flat back. You don't have to come up far. I bring my hands onto my shins and then I relax my shoulders. So my back is relatively long here. Stay where you are. Take a couple of breaths. So if I show you from the side, my spine is, relatively long from my lumbar spine. And then that kind of alignment follows right to the crown of my head. Okay, take one more round of breath as I adjust. And then take a full exhale, come back into that forward fold. So let the spine go, let everything relax. And then inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. And then exhale, frame your hands to your heart. Beautiful. Let's go again. Inhale to bring the arms up. Again, maybe look up towards the fingertips. You don't have to bring the hands together. They can be shoulder width apart. Exhale to hinge and fold and come all the way down. On the breath, inhale to lengthen to that flat back position. And then exhale to hinge and fold. Let the spine go. Root down through the feet. Inhale, come all the way back up. And then exhale, frame your hands to your heart. So these are our sun salutations. In the sun, right? A very warm day in July. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale to hinge and fold. Inhale to lengthen, flat back. Exhale to fold. Root down through the feet. Inhale, come all the way back up. And then exhale, frame your hands at your heart center. Just keep going. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. So we'll do 2 more on the breath. Inhaling up. Exhale to fold. Inhale to lengthen, flat back, draw the hands up, the shins. Exhale to fold. Inhale, come all the way up, root to rise. Exhale, hands to your heart. It's a really beautiful flow. 1 more like that. Inhale to expand all the way up. Exhale to hinge and fold all the way down. Inhale to lengthen, flat back. Exhale to fold, root down through the feet. Inhale, come all the way back up. And then exhale, hands to your heart. And then just remain here, hands at the heart. Maybe close the eyes and just check in with your experience. You know, that idea of just noticing what you're noticing again, or notice what you're noticing. Nice. And then if your eyes are closed, come with your eyes open. It's lovely, isn't it? Give the arms a little shake out, just informal. I love that movement. That's kind of the sun salutation seated, feels so nourishing to me. You know, we can do so much from a chair. It makes me happy that we can do this stuff together. You know, that kind of movement with the breath. Keep moving like this, by the way. He's like, what's he doing? He's just swinging his arms around. These are nice free movements, but those movements through sun salutations, you will notice that every movement has a breath attached. And that kind of gets us into our breath, and it kind of trains our breath, that we know that we feel a little low of energy, which is very easy when it's 2:30 on a warm, well, hot summer afternoon. You know, we can feel really lethargic, but we know if we kind of move a little, we move our breath, we can really change our perspective of where we are. All right, come back to center. We'll do what we did last week, again, just to kind of close some things off. Root down through the left foot and then lift up, if you can, through the right foot. If it feels too much, just bring your ankle off the floor. So this is your option number 1. If you wanted to, you can make a basket grip and hold around the shin or the right knee, and then just squeeze your right knee in. I'm a little bit itchy, and I'll tell you why I'm itchy. So I've got feather down pillows, and you know you can wash them. And I hardly ever wash my pillows. Give your ankle a little roll out while I tell this little story. So I've just put one in the washing machine, and the whole thing split. So I was watching it going round and round, bring your ankle round the other way, and then the whole pillow had split. So I've just had to tidy it up, and I'm a little bit allergic to feathers. So I was panicking a little bit before this class. I was like, am I going to be sneezing a lot? So I'm a little bit itchy, but not too bad. Anyway, maybe oversharing. All right, bring your left hand onto the outer edge of your right knee. Bring your right hand out, your right arm out, and then just twist towards the right. So you're just finding this nice twist. And then come back to center, and then maybe make a basket grip behind the right leg and just lengthen the right leg out. So you're just kind of finding the right leg long. And if you wanted to, you can release the hands. Now that takes a lot more, right? I really feel it in this hip as I do that. Maybe bring the arms out. Take 1 more round of breath. Nice deep inhale, wherever you found yourself. And then exhale, we'll all arrive back in the same spot. Rearrange your bottom, your seat, And then we'll do the same thing again. So maybe just come up onto the left toes. That's option one. You just lift the heel. There's still a tremendous amount of work going on there. Or you can bring the leg in, make a basket grip around the knee, the left knee, or maybe around the back of the leg. So you can be here, or maybe lower down on the leg. And then just roll your ankle out. Just a few rounds. Maybe come back the other way. It doesn't have to be anything, too specific. Just kind of bring those movements in. Nice. And then holding on to the left knee with your right hand, inhale the left arm all the way out. And again, just find that beautiful twist. And this is coming right towards the end of the practice. So it's nice to twist at the end. We've done plenty of work through the neck, so you can look down that left arm, root down through the right foot, which is supporting the body. And then exhale, come back to center. And then again, just maybe make a basket grip behind the left leg and then lengthen the left leg out. Think about how your shoulder's positioned. Think about how your spine is positioned. Take a few rounds of breath here. And then maybe lengthen the arms out and then just feel into it. Again, I feel it very strongly in this left hip. A couple more rounds of breath. Breathe in deeply. And then exhale. Bring that left knee in one final time. Give it a little squeeze. And then bring the left foot down. Beautiful. Before we come into Shavasana, which is our final pose, which we'll do obviously seated, bring the hands onto the knees and then just begin to circle your torso out. Just finish with a little Sufi grind, kind of just moving the torso, inhaling forward, maybe exhaling as you come back into your spine. Just freeing everything up one final time. Stay nice and relaxed through your jaw. And then you can come back the other way. Just a few rotations. Just begin to circle in the opposite direction. Just little movements. And if you feel a little confused by this, try not to overthink it. Think about your navel and think if you can draw your navel around in circles. And then inhale, come back to center and take a full exhale. Beautiful. All right, from here, we're going to come into Shavasana. So I'm going to lean back into my chair just to make this really relaxing. Remember, sometimes I talk about bringing something underneath the feet. Probably not a blanket today, right? But you might put a blanket to support your back, if you want that softness. But probably not a blanket over you unless you want to. And then bring your palms up, make any final little adjustments. So you can just relax into this for the final minute or so. Maybe close your eyes. And as you settle in, just notice the effects of your practice. See how your practice has served you today. Just let your breath come back to a nice steady rhythm. Feel your body at rest, hopefully your mind at ease. And then from here, just begin the tiniest little movements back into your fingers, maybe your toes. And wherever it feels appropriate, make the movements a little bit bigger. And if you had your eyes closed, then you can very gently, slowly draw your eyes open. Try not to kind of open the eyes too abruptly. And then if you lean back in the chair like I am, maybe just come forward just a tiny little bit. Root your feet back down and bring your hands to your heart. And just notice the effects of your practice. Thank yourself for showing up today. Whether you joined us live, nicely done, or whether you caught us on catch up, maybe it was a little bit cooler when you did it. But thank yourself whenever you joined for taking part and getting into your chair and for being, game enough to practice yoga with each other. And then just with a wholehearted bow, wishing yourself well, wishing everybody else well. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. Thanks so much. I am back on Thursday for my seated yoga class. So if you want to join me, then you are more than welcome. And I'm glad you're enjoying the chair yoga, Irene. I'm really enjoying teaching it. What else is going on here? Thank you, Rachel. It was really nice to have you along. That's lovely. And yeah, it's once a week, usually on a Monday or a Tuesday or a Thursday, and the times differ. So check out the schedule. And that's a really good point. The schedule's always on Instagram, it's on Facebook. I see it pop up on my Instagram feed from time to time, but you can check the schedule out for the week. My Thursday class, which is mat yoga, not in the chair, and that is always on a Thursday at 2:30, and then the chair yoga will differ. And then there's also an additional chair yoga coming. I don't think it's started yet, but it'll be specific for people, I think, who have got Parkinson's. So maybe check that out as well. So it's not taught by me, it's taught by another brilliant instructor. Remember, all the other content that is available to you guys on the Virtual Village Hall and all the platforms that these guys are on: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. It's all there. It's all there to catch up with. It's amazing instructors, and there's a team behind the scenes that kind of host us and do a really great job. And have your say, right? There's a newsletter. Sometimes there's surveys that come up from time to time, and you guys get to shape the service and the content which is out there. So without you, it's nothing, right? It's just, a team of people and then us talking to nobody. So thank you for joining. It's a real pleasure. Stay hydrated. I might watch a bit of tennis later as well. And whatever you're doing over the next day or so, make it a good one. And thank you so much. All right, everyone. Look after yourselves. I might see some of you on Thursday. Cheers.